You don't mind opening us up with prayer this morning.
Yeah, would you bow your heads, please? This morning, our Heavenly Father, we come to tell you thank you. Thank you for all your many blessings that you bestowed upon us. The Heavenly Father, we realize that we are not deserving, but the Heavenly Father, we thank you for your grace and for your mercy. The Heavenly Father, we pray that the decisions that we make will be pleasing in your sight and beneficial to the people of Octaville County. We pray for our military soldiers that stand abroad for our freedom. Protect them and guide them. Heavenly Father, we pray for leaders on a national level, on a state level, and on a local level. These and all other blessings we ask in your Son Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Supervisor Howard.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Barbara and everybody's prayers.
Yes.
Ms.
Barbara
Barbara
Yes.
Mitchell.
Okay, we certainly want,
We certainly
to keep her in our prayers. I know she would be here today if she could.
She absolutely would be.
But we certainly want to keep her in our thoughts and prayers and continue to pray, for all these things that's going on with sickness and weather events and just different things. If we ever needed prayer, now is the time.
Yes, sir.
I have to leave about 9:30 and I'm coming back. It's
Okay.
just, we have a federal case that I have a hearing on the phone at my office and I'll come right back when it's done.
Okay, no problem. Well, we'll move as quickly as we can. Any approval of the March 2023 board orders? Are there any corrections, additions, anything we need to do as it relates to that? If not, let's get a motion from Supervisor Montgomery, second by Supervisor Williams, that we approve the board orders for 2023 March. Any questions concerning the motion? All those in favor, let it be known by the public voting sign.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. At this time, we have some time set aside for citizen comment. Are there any citizens here that are not on the agenda that would like to approach the board for 3 minutes? You may come forward and do so at this time. Seeing that there are none, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda, Ira Rivette, COVID request.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, come on forward.
Yes,
Good morning.
sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Do I stand?
Sit, stand, either way, be fine. Good morning.
My age, I've got to sit.
And if you don't mind, if I pronounce your name, and I hope I pronounce it.
You did it, it's perfect. It's Ira Kim, and Erin is my wife, Rivette.
Okay, Rivette.
I'm Ira Rivette.
Yes, sir.
We recently purchased a house in Sessoms area. Next, some of y'all know a guy named Russell Dodds and his wife Haley
Right, we
Dodds.
talked, I think we did.
That might have. And we moved it, bought it next to him. It's an old house. It's been there since the 50s. And Mr. Victor was good enough to come out and thaw. And also Mr. Joe come up. We weren't sure that there might be a covered culvert that's kind of been grown over and been filled in over the years. And since we're using 2 accesses, we was hopeful to get at least a driveway put in there and maybe a pipe through it, Mr. Victor, we don't know yet.
Yeah, well, to update the board on what we looked at, it had, when this was put in, it had a driveway entrance, and then Mr. Ivor put in another driveway, and we talked about it. We're requesting a cover for the new driveway he is. The old driveway, we're requesting just cover replacement because they're metal covers and they're rusted out. And also they had whoever put a cover across the yard, probably between 30 and 40 feet. And Mr. Ivor and I talked about that. And I told Mr. Ivor that we could do the new drive, we could do the old drive replacement, and all this is in a county ditch. The covers have been stopped up for years, but the one across the house, in front of the house, I told him since we were doing the other 2, would he help us out with, we would replace them, but would he help us out with that cover across the yard, in front of the yard? All of them runs in the ditch, they just did a covered yard, in the yard. And so, that's the reason he's here before the board, to see if we can get that taken care of.
Okay. You've heard the request. What's the pleasure of the board on the request?
Yes,
Motion by Supervisor
I'm
Williams.
familiar with the situation, so I recommend approval for that.
Well, thank you, Mr. Joe.
Recommendation coming from Mr. Collins.
I have a question.
Second by Supervisor Montgomery, question.
Hold on, let me make sure I get this right. The one that's going across the yard does affect the other spots, in other words, it's
Yeah,
flooded.
it'll affect it. where he needs a new cover, it doesn't affect that, but it does affect the cover that's across the driveway entrance that went into the house.
So it's a determination that it would affect the road and the
Oh,
roadway
it's
through there?
already affected
Okay,
the road.
that's
It's
what I
been
needed.
flooding it's actually been flooding before I left here.
Just need a determination.
Before I
Okay.
left here 5 years ago, it actually was, when it rained, the water actually jumped out and went across the road and down into the
Perfect.
neighbor's yard, across the street.
That's what I
It's
need.
a holding
It's
pond.
been bad, but, you
Our
know.
front yard's like a holding pond, just about.
What's your address?
2030.
2030, Cessna Road.
Yes, sir. And when y'all asked for comment prior to this, I should have stood up. I know you had to stand up. It's my first meeting, but I'll come to more.
You were on the agenda, so.
Yes, sir.
You're good.
Mr. Lois or something, Mr. Lois, I think that did that for me. All your people's been very professional and responsive. Phone calls back and forth. Some guy named Keith or Kevin called a couple of times. So y'all got a good crew. We're blessed to be here. We're glad we're moving up here permanently.
We certainly appreciate that comment, and that comment is on camera.
It's a
We certainly
blessing.
Appreciate that.
Glad to have you. Finish carrying that motion.
I'm not real shy.
Any more questions?
I'm not a wallflower.
All those in favor, let me know by the poll
Yeah.
vote side. Motion passes. We thank you, Mr. Gillette.
God bless you.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Likewise.
What was your name?
Orlando Train.
Mr. Trainer.
Yes, sir.
I think I did speak with you.
Yes, sir, we sure did. Thank you, sir. You have a great day.
Yes, sir. You too. God
Okay,
bless you.
moving along to the next item, the Association for East Octavia County Educators Historical Signage. Good morning, Ms. Ellis, and I know we also have Dr. Thomas back there. Come on forward.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm just a follow-up here. On last Monday, I had a notice from a manufacturer of the state historic marker for the B.O.S. former high school, that it was delivered. And on that, I think it's the next step involved now to determine, based on the paperwork back in August, that the monument be placed on county easement, and also to move forward with seeing if you would still honor paying the invoice that has been forwarded, I think, to Ms. Baker. And so I'm just coming before you today to see if we can finalize the process. And I think there's 2 more steps that needs to be taken to complete it. May I ask, what is the decision?
I think we've already made a commitment to sponsoring that project and also to fund it. So it's gonna be my recommendation that we move forward with paying the bill and communicate with the road department about a location to be able to install it.
Okay.
Second
Motion by
that.
Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Montgomery. Are there any questions concerning that motion? All those in favor, let me know by the question.
That being said, the installation of it, that is something that we've never undertaken, and I don't want to do something and put my guys in a position where they're responsible for something that they have never dealt with installing. So my recommendation is, let's see if we can find somebody that can properly install this. Because I don't want the sign damaged, and then we held responsible for the repair. It's kind of a delicate sign, and so that's where I stand with it. I mean, if it gets chipped, then I don't want to say, well, the road department chipped it.
So can we amend that motion to also seek someone to possibly install it?
Yeah.
Would that
Would
appropriate?
the road department be willing to
Facility.
search for someone that might be able to install that, since we asked your committee whether you would be responsible?
I don't see where it would be a problem. We can look for it. And I'm not refusing to put it down, but I just don't wanna be responsible for any damages being brought to it, because I don't even know what it takes to put the sign in. I hadn't looked at or seen one installed. And I know it's a process, cause it's a two-piece deal, and I don't have equipment to swing that, you know, because I don't think it's light enough that we can pick it up and raise it up by hand. And so we don't have swings and stuff to put the sign in to put it in place.
Okay. What we'll do, we'll amend the motion with everything that was said, plus give a quote for installation. Is that acceptable? Okay, all those in favor, let it be known with the proper voting sign. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Collins. Thank you, Ms. Ellis.
Would you have a time frame, perhaps a month or two, or?
I guess I just recommend you coordinate everything with this stuff, because I'm sure there's gonna be a ceremony and probably some other things y'all are trying to do with it, so.
All right, thank
Y'all
you.
can coordinate everything, we'll go from there. All right, moving right along to the next item, Ms. Cooper. Assessment change.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm glad about yourself this morning.
I'm good.
Good.
All right, I got one assessment change and then 2 refunds.
Okay, you've heard the request on the assessment change. What's the pleasure of the board?
So moved.
Motion by Supervisor Howard, second by Supervisor Montgomery. Then questions concerning the motion. All those in favor, let it be known by the proper voting sign. Motion passes unanimously.
Does that include the refund, the reimbursement? Yeah.
I guess it did.
2
You need a second motion?
reimbursements.
Need a second motion.
Okay.
All right, Supervisor Williams, motion.
Motion to, move forward with the reimbursement of, I believe it's 2 individuals, yes. 2 individuals asking for a refund.
Second by Supervisor Montgomery. Are there any questions concerning that motion? All those in favor, let it be known by the proper voting sign. Motion passes unanimously. Anything else, Ms. Cooper?
No, just need signatures.
That's the 2, you got that in here. You need those names for the refund?
That's right, I'll get them off there, we'll make sure we have them. Thank you.
No, I'm sorry. Thank you.
You've got the names on there in case we need it. Okay. Just whenever we get ready.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Plug it in.
Thank you very much. All right, moving right along to the next item. Ms. Fitzbenson, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
On March the 22nd, 10 bids were received for the next phase of the North Star Industrial Park project, which includes clearing, mass grading, and site improvements. The lowest bidder was Hodges Rock Solid Land Services at a bid of $1.5 million even, with a contract bid time of 170 days. If you'll remember, you're sort of under the gun with getting the trees cleared out on that site because of the maternity season of the bats. So it's important that we move along as quickly as possible with getting the contractor out there. To follow protocol, I've contacted the Mississippi Development Authority to make sure that this contractor is not on the debarred list, and they responded in a record prompt time, same day. So they have cleared this contractor. So it is the recommendation of your project engineer to accept the lowest and best bid, which once again is Hodges Rock Solid Land Services, LLC.
Heard the request, what's the pleasure of the board? Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Howard. Are there any questions concerning the motion? All those in favor, let it be known by the proper voting sign. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank
Will be
you.
burning on site out there, like some of the trees and things like that?
I have no earthly idea. I am so sorry, but I'll get you an answer. Okay,
Just for the media, that bid was $1,500,000.
correct.
Got it.
Any questions?
Oh, that.
All right, I'll get with your project engineer. We'll conduct a pre-construction conference. We'll notify your county administrator and board president of the time that's been set. And once again, May 14th, those trees have to be on the ground, so.
We certainly appreciate your service.
Thank you. It's my
Thank you, ma'am. Have a great
pleasure.
day.
Thank you, Ms. Phillips.
All right, moving to the next item. Mr. Patrick Warner, volunteer fire quotes and sell.
I don't have all the information I need today, so I'm gonna delay mine till next week.
Okay, you'll be planning next time. Okay, moving right along. Next item, Major Designs, Felix Loan site update. Got to be me. Yes, sir. Good morning. How are you all doing this morning?
We're good. How about y'all?
Good, good. If you want to, you can, however you want to do, stand or have a seat, or may want to stay a while.
Well, since there's a couple of us, and actually we have our marketing director with us as well.
Okay, good.
Dr. Keisha. I guess first thing that we wanted to talk about was just kind of give an update on the Felix Loan project. Right now, we're currently waiting on the phase 1, phase 2 to get completed.
Yes, phase 1 has been completed. I've made contact with Mr. John Hargraves, I think, with PM Environmental, to see when they're gonna begin phase 2.
Phase 1 was the inspection to see if
Phase,
they're.
phase 1, they came and just assessed the building.
Mhm.
Phase 2 will be them actually testing.
Mhm. Pulling samples to. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. In addition to that, we have actually been in contact with MDAH, Archives and History, and we actually are awaiting their final approval on that as well. And then I guess the third item we were going to talk with y'all about was we would like to start the process of preliminary schematic design for the new county building. And also look at doing, when everything gets put in place, we would like to go ahead and basically look at starting the construction documents as well after everything gets approved from the preliminary schematic designs. So what that would entail would basically would be MDS sitting down with all the stakeholders, making sure that we get everything laid out for the new building, talk with administrative staff, talk with all the, pretty much all the stakeholders, and make sure we get everything that's required.
I think Ms. Farmer had some comments and questions.
So the supervisors that have had conversations with me know this is my agenda, to get this admin justice building built. So what I'm hoping the board would approve today, because right now we do not have a definite cost as to how much this building would actually cost the county, so that we would start thinking about the funding. So what I'm hoping the board will give us approval today is to allow Major Designs to go ahead and start working on a design so that we can now have a cost for the building.
Question, comment?
Not a question, this is a comment to help y'all make your decision. The legislature has designated $1 million this past session for this building. We're calling it a courthouse in our, it's how it's earmarked for our project. So we have $1 million already.
Senator Williams called me.
Wonderful. Let's move forward.
All right, with that being said, motion by Supervisor Williams.
And just to enlighten the board on what your cost is, what your fees will be, and it will be a percentage of.
A percentage. And mainly for the preliminary, these schematic design would just be like 10% of the total cost.
So we have a motion by Supervisor Williams, is there a second? Second by Supervisor Montgomery. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor, let it be known by the proper voting sign.
Aye.
Motion passed unanimously. All right.
So you said you're waiting on everything to be approved, and then you'll start to sit down with the different departments and
Yes, sir.
start to design the building?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We'll get with Ms. Foreman, she'll set up the meetings to get those started.
Okay.
Sounds good. Well, we certainly appreciate you all's services. Looking forward to the process.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Moving right along, next item, Mr. Chad Garnett, Chief Editor. Non-compensated special contract investigator contract. Okay.
So
You all
this
had
is-
that? Good.
This is through MBN. It's nothing more, we were concerned about losing a deputy if we'd done this, but we contacted them, they came over. This is nothing more than if they have a vehicle that they've been watching coming through Oktibbeha County and need it stopped, we agree to stop it with our dog. And anything that is seized, we will get a percentage of any money that's seized on those stops. So it don't take anybody away from Octavie Hall County, anything that we will do happens in Octavie Hall County.
Motion for approval.
Motion by Supervisor Montgomery, second by Supervisor Howard. Are there any questions concerning that motion? All those in favor, let it be known by the pro vote sign. Motion passes unanimously. All right, moving right along, Mr. Victor Collins, Road Manager Report, Road Department Update. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All righty. Y'all have your booklet in. Is there anything there that you may have any questions about?
No.
Well, I have a question.
Okay.
How is road building? We haven't started doing any road building yet, have we?
No, sir, no, we hadn't, and right now it's too wet. I've looked at a couple of projects that's been ongoing, and right now it's just too wet to do anything with any of those. The only thing that we're gonna get back into, we've got a little bit of work out on Supervisor Howard's Harold Road. We're gonna go out there and make some changes and do a little bit of more drainage work on that right now, because because of the layout and because of where it is, we can start some of it. I think we have to put a little bit more clay gravel in place to get this road to where it be able to have a crown. And we'll be mostly working on the road, but on the other ones, it's just not, it's not dry enough for us to do anything right now.
Okay.
I know you got Robinson Road, they did a lot of work on it. I've looked at it. I actually had a call from a gentleman, and I went down and talked to him and looked at what he had a concern about.
Right.
But other than that, that's all. And hopefully we'll start getting some weather here, and we'll be able to get back on everything that they were working on.
Right, that's Harris Road.
Yeah,
thank you for going out there to talk to that.
Okay.
To that person, he had a concern about a pond out there that might flood the road.
Yeah.
Now, I'm glad you gave us an update on that. How is D Shop progressing since it's a new shop?
They're doing pretty good. In fact, I'm here today to ask for something to help them out a little bit. I don't think it's not gonna be a big cost, but I am gonna, they need to be able to move around, and they need a trailer. And I did some research and found a couple of trailers, and I guess since we're there, we can go to that. I have on.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that.
What goes on is we've been moved. Everybody else have a tag along trailer where they can move their equipment, and they've been using a low boy. And I only let certain people use a low boy, only certain drivers, and that's causing me to have to stop a truck just to move them. Sometimes it's only a half a mile, and so. Here I'm asking the board to consider, I have a picture of it, a trailer that they can pull behind a 1-ton truck.
Yeah. They need that. They were driving that track hole, just getting it up and down the road.
Yeah.
So we couldn't have a way to move it.
Yeah. So this will give them something to move the mini hoe on.
I motion for approval on that.
Second.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Montgomery, as relates to purchasing a trailer.
And I have 2 bids in, one here in Starkville, and one is C&W just outside. It's actually Golden, Mississippi, and I think they had the lowest cost and the better equipment. That trailer contains 2 braking axles. Well, the other one only has 1 braking axle. And it was at a considerably lower cost. I want to say around about $5,870.
That's
with the spare tire. Yeah.
Got a motion second, no questions?
That's at the lowest bid.
Yeah.
Question. Is this one coming equipped with the winch? I don't see.
No. It's just where they can let the ramp down and drive it up on there. It doesn't have a window. If it comes need for one, we'll install it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If it comes need where we need to pull something, that's not a big issue. We'll have a rack put on it later on and do that.
Any more questions? on the motion?
I'm trying to get all my concerns in, and I know
All those
Yeah.
in favor for that motion, let it be known by the pro vote
supervisors
sign.
have something
Motion
in.
passed unanimous.
No supervisors have something else, but, there's at the end of Runt Road, there's a place where, I guess our equipment is turning around on private property. And I know that the garbage truck is turning around on private property.
You see, man.
But I believe our equipment is turning around there too. And the homeowners have asked that we could do something to upgrade that spot so they wouldn't tear their property up so bad. Could you look into that and see about the possibility of doing that?
Since we're here, I don't think it'll be a big issue to fix that. If I can get board approval to do that, I think this will be a good time to go ahead on and do it. What we'll do is we'll grade it, put in some clay gravel to fill in the holes, fix this where the garbage trucks and the motor grader can turn around. And it's not a big thing, so if we can get that approved today, I can go ahead on and do that.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Montgomery. Can you specify, you said Runt Road?
End of Runt Road.
Runt Road. Do some maintenance on Runt Road.
And I have
All
one
those
other
in favor,
thing.
let it be known by the pro vote sign. Motion passed unanimous.
I have one other thing for you, Mr. Collins, and I'm gonna move forward. Let's move forward. You have been looking at a situation at the end of El Safari.
Yeah.
You've been doing a good job. I know you've been checking that out.
It's been taken care of.
Been taken.
Yeah, well, the water was, we got that taken
Right,
care of, I believe this past week. Where the water was going in this lady's backyard from a cross drain. We rerouted that water where it wouldn't go into her backyard.
She had called me earlier, so I wanted to make sure to get that.
Yeah,
But thank you very much, Mr. Collins.
Okay, yeah,
That's it.
we've got that taken care of.
Thank you.
There is an issue on Harold Road,
Uh-huh.
similar to what we just talked about. And the lady made me aware of it about 3 years ago, and we've got a cross drain that sends the water straight across. Right, it's actually right across from New Bethel Church, if
Okay.
you know. But anyway, that ditch is getting worse and worse, so
Okay.
it's about time we're gonna have to do
All
something
right.
to address that, go in and.
Could we get
do
them-
something.
Motion by Supervisor Howard, second by Supervisor Montgomery, as it relates to, restate that road name,
Harold Road.
Harold Road.
I'll get the
Yeah,
address.
I think we'll probably need to get a signed
Easement.
easement from her.
Any questions concerning the motion? All those in favor, let it be known by the pro vote sign. Motion passed unanimous.
Okay, one more thing before I got a couple, but one more thing. The roller rental, we need to extend that. And guys, I went out, took a look at this roller. It's what I would like to do after this, and I don't have the reason I'm not doing it today, I don't have all the paperwork, I don't have all the figures. But, after this time, I'd like to look at just going home on and purchasing that machine instead of just continuing to rent it. From what I think, and just don't hold me to that, part of our funds has been going towards that machine, towards the purchase of it anyway, and part of it was going to rental. So we do have that machine, a good bit of money invested in it. I think we've had it over 6 or so months, and the one like it we don't have anymore, and we do have to have one.
All right, so we got heard the request for the extension and the possible purchase. Motion by Supervisor Montgomery, second by Supervisor Howard. Are there any questions concerning the motion? All
Okay.
those in favor, let it be known by the pro vote sign. Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, next thing on the agenda,
The road.
on my agenda, is we talked about down on Longview Road, some grates that was actually a danger to anyone walking in that area. And we had one, and I'm gonna tell you what happened to it. One of the grates, and I have a picture in here of it. believe it's the one that where you can see we're standing there.
Well,
That-
that picture's not in there, but I know what you're
Yeah.
Oh, no, here it is, right here. This is the one with the sign in it.
Right.
When the contractor was working on that road, if you can see one corner is pushed in, when they were working out there, the machine backed in there and it broke that in. So that grate is basically just sitting there. It's sitting there and waiting to fall in. So what we did was,
That's how those grates were left.
yeah, and that's the one here. I think y'all had these holes right here. They're big enough for someone to step in. I mean, and if someone stepped in it,
Longview Road.
if someone stepped in it, that could be consequences.
6 of them were.
So, that being said, let's work on the one that's broke first. We'd like to get approval and the amount, and this is an estimate, it could fall just a little bit lower than that. This grate here is estimated at $1,180. That would fix the one that's broken in. This one is designed to go all the way around it and sit down in it, where it will hold the support. Where the other one is broken in, it will support the weight of trucks or anything. And that particular one is right in front of Mr. Yateman's shop.
All right.
Motion for approval on that one.
Motion by
Question.
Supervisor
Question.
Williams, second by Supervisor Montgomery. Question.
Attorney Robinson, since this is a contractor's mess up, can we ask for reimbursement from the contractor?
I certainly think we need to.
That would be my, yeah.
But I'm gonna amend that motion to have, for Octavia County to move forward with the repairs and additionally, invoice the contractor for the repair.
Which would be Phillips.
And he does,
You good with that amendment?
Good. Oh,
Mr.
yeah.
Yateman
Oh,
does
yeah.
have pictures where the
He need to.
machine
I see
did
what
back
he-
in and the grate collapsed under the weight of the machine they were using
That's
when they was
good.
mixing the road.
Good, they need.
Got a motion
they need
second
reimbursement.
and the response after.
Yeah.
Any questions concerning the motion? All those in favor, let me
good.
know by proper vote, sir. Motion
Okay,
passed.
Thank you.
now, on the other 5, that's still in good shape, but still have the crack in them.
I mean, the other 5, the grate is too small for the,
Yeah, but let me,
They all
the
look
solution,
just like
the
that.
solution is that he came up with, and we talked about it. There's 5 other grates left that has holes that left open where someone can break a leg easily. A small animal can fall in the thing. One dog or anything can fall in there, a small dog. We come up with a solution of where this hole is, where this hole is on each side here. Come up with a little bit less expensive solution of plating this on both sides. Putting a plate in it and anchoring it to the concrete by going underneath and put an anchor bolt on each side. It won't be drilling into the concrete or anything. It'll just be putting an anchor underneath and clamping it where it cannot come out. But you can still access this grate. You can still take this grate out if you need to. This will be permanently placed in place on each side of it. With that being said, at a cost estimate of about $600 for each grate. A total cost estimate of about $3,000 to fix the other 5 where they'll be safe.
What's your pleasure on that? Motion by Supervisor Montgomery, second by Supervisor Howard. Are there any questions concerning the motion?
Well, with the
Same,
same,
yeah.
that
Same
it
motion.
goes to Phillips
Well,
contract.
the same approach on this one as the previous one. All those in favor, let it be known by the proper voting sign. Motion passed unanimously.
I think, oh, yes. Mr. Lewis, do you want to handle the next one?
I don't have a problem with it.
Okay.
So the house that's in front of the shop on Industrial Park Road that we got through the sheriff's department, I've been in contact with the city about getting it permitted and possibly using it as an office space, and it really defeats the purpose. Once, they took the door off and they were able to get inside, so there are some pictures of the damage in the inside. So we came up with another solution for additional office space. So what we would like to do is just demolish that, get rid of it, because it's not worth it's not worth putting money into it.
So moved.
All right, motion by Supervisor, Montgomery, second by Supervisor Williams, that this particular building, be removed.
If the city wants to do something with it,
No.
No.
We were questioning about, remodeling or putting money into it for office space. But we
Right.
have to go through the city for the permitting. of
Permitting,
it.
right.
And it's not worth doing that and putting the money into it because of the condition of it.
yeah.
So we just wanna tear it down and get rid of it.
I wonder if someone would want to,
I think they probably would, but I mean, I would give them an option of disposing of it properly, whether they want to demolish it, damage it, or give it away. I mean, we don't think
someone might
Well, it's
wanna
got
put some
a
energy-
lot of damage in it.
Looks like
Promise
mold.
all
Because
along.
it had a tarp, they had to remove part of the top when they hauled it in there.
Yeah,
Well, the tarp that was on it
right,
deteriorated.
right.
It's got a lot of water damage in it. It's got a lot of mold in it, and I don't think anybody would want it.
That building was in pretty good shape when we got it.
Yeah, but it sit there and with the roof partially off of it,
Yeah.
you know, and it rained down in it, and it's got mold all up the walls, all across the floors. I don't think anybody would want that. Because that's what I'm saying, the money that would have to be put into it, it would just like be tearing everything out of it, and then replacing the floors, the walls, the ceiling, and fixing the roof. And that's what the floors look like.
Y'all, that looks like mold.
That's mold that has worked in
I
there.
saw that picture and was like.
And I mean, you know, we would be giving somebody mold, basically what we are doing, and I don't think that's something we should even,
They'd be easier
I think it's
starting
something that
over.
we need to just demolish it and take our, well, I don't think we got anything in it but moving, but take our losses on it and move
What your
on.
plan is to come there with.
Just take the track
hole
on
and
it.
just.
Let it rip, take a chip.
So in lieu of that, it still would be somewhere, if someone homeless, they would use it, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it may not be any value, and you may not see no value to it, but it does
We
have
might
some
not,
value.
we might not see any value in it.
But now, I don't wanna hold up
If
the
a
process.
person doesn't have anyone to live, they might wanna tear it out and remodel it.
Yeah,
So
but
do
that
you
would,
wanna give it a certain time?
No, I don't wanna hold them up.
well now,
I don't wanna hold them up, I'm
this
just,
is the thing, then we would be the one probably held responsible for moving it out of there.
You got
My-
liability.
And then that comes a different story.
My only concern is if we even gave this to somebody and they came back and got sick,
Yeah.
that would be my only caveat to that, but y'all are the bosses, I'll do
we
what y'all
got,
want me to
we
do.
got a motion and a second to have it removed. So, any more questions concerning that? All those in favor, let me know by the vote.
Aye.
Motion passed unanimously.
I think that's it, unless.
We need to approve the road manager's report.
All right. One other thing I wanted to do, and this is a culvert request for Tim Robertson for culvert installation at 8501 Old West Point Road. And I think it should be marked, and I'll do a work order and send the pictures and everything.
Okay.
Install a culvert for Tim Robertson, 8501, a new culvert, Old West Point Road.
That's your motion.
That's the motion.
Second.
Second by Supervisor Howard. Are there any questions concerning the motion? All those in favor, let it be known by the clerk vote sign. Any more cover requests? Yes, sir. Okay. If not, let's get a motion second to accept the road manager report. Motion by Supervisor Montgomery, second by Supervisor Williams. Are there any questions concerning that motion? All those in favor, let it be known by the clerk vote sign. Motion passes unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Collins. We all
Thank y'all.
appreciate your
Thank y'all.
service and the services of the road department.
All right.
Thank you for getting
Thank you,
on
Mr.
that
Collins.
too.
Okay.
Thank
All
you,
right.
thank you.
Thank y'all.
All right.
Have a great day. Moving along, Ms. Livingston, Chancery Clerk, bid.
The only thing I had is we did have a bid, and you know, this is the first time that we did the bid for 91 days. And Guarantee Bank got it at 4.5%.
Things are looking up.
Thank y'all very much.
Like interest rates.
91 days.
Thank you, sir. You have a great day.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
I'll make
They
that motion.
wanted it really
They
bad, so
wanted
they
it
got it.
bad.
Yes.
Good deal.
I'll make
Who
that
got it?
motion.
Guarantee.
4.5%?
Guarantee Bank.
4.75.
At 4.5%.
All
Okay.
right, can we get a motion to acknowledge that? Motion by Supervisor Montgomery, second by Supervisor Howard.
Man, that's
Questions
exciting.
concerning the motion? All those in favor, let it be known by the clerk vote. Motion passes unanimously.
We're trying to get the new administrative building
Sure
built.
is, sure is.
That's all I have.
All right, moving along, county business, Ms. Funk.
You have payroll changes for approval?
Okay, you got your payroll change, any questions concerning that?
Motion
Not.
for approval.
Motion by Supervisor Montgomery, second by Supervisor Howard. Are there any questions concerning that motion? All those in favor, let it be known by the proper vote sign. Motion passes unanimously.
Third quarter budget allocation for the sheriff, jail, and tax assessor. Need to take notes.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Montgomery. Are there any questions concerning the motion? All those in favor, let it be known by the proper vote sign. Motion passes unanimously.
Need to do an interfund transfer to the interphase fund. There was an increase in the contract, so we need to move about $5,000 in that to carry it over for the rest of this budget year.
Motion by Supervisor Montgomery, second by Supervisor Howard. Are there any questions concerning that motion? All those in favor, let it be known by the proper vote sign. Motion passes unanimously.
A budget amendment for the sheriff department in the amount of $4,065.
So moved.
Motion by Supervisor Howard, second by Supervisor Montgomery. Are there any questions concerning that motion? All those in favor, let it be known by the proper vote sign. Motion passes unanimously.
Have invoices for Mississippi Engineering Group, and this is pertaining to the county lakes. These are some that were missed. If you look at the dates, were from September, and I verified it on our end as well, that these were never received, nor were they paid. And I also want to give the board an update. I contacted Mississippi Engineering, spoke with Mr. McDonald. There is only one 30% design phase. That is the report that I emailed to you, and I also print and put in your mailbox. So there is not two, there's only one, and we have it. So I advise the board, if you all have any questions, they welcome you all to give them a call so they can kind of have a conversation with you all.
I would, just a little follow-up on that. And I know in the past, this same information has been requested over and over and over. And when that happens, that pulls resources from our county administrator's office to have to go and dig this same information out. And when these allegations are made, I would like to at least see some proof before we continue to have our administrative office to go and dig all of this stuff out. When you come in and make an allegation that says, well, they owe us this, or the contract said this, then you should be able to produce the contract and show us where it says that, instead of just making an allegation and then sending everybody off on a wild goose chase. So in the past, I'd like to see the board at least ask for something, you know, some documentation on what's being said and what's being put out there. But that's just my little spiel.
I met him at lunch and he gave me that report months ago.
Yeah, it's been out there. But anyway.
Motion by Supervisor Howard, second by Supervisor Montgomery, that we pay these invoices. Are there any questions concerning the motion? All those in favor, let it be known by the proper vote sign. Motion passes unanimously.
Pritchard Engineering invoice for District 3 in the amount of $36,591.97.
I'm gonna recommend that we pay half of that invoice to Pritchard.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion by Supervisor Howard, second by Supervisor Montgomery, that we pay half of this figure. You all will have to figure out what that half is.
I'll get that.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor, let it be known by the proper vote sign. Motion passes unanimously.
Have Phillips contracting invoice for District 3 roads in the amount of $589,731.14.
That is the half of what's,
That's the one when we met and we negotiated on. I think I emailed it out to you.
Mhm.
It's a breakdown.
Yeah,
Trying to
okay.
put together a letter.
I motion that we pay that amount.
Okay, motion by Supervisor Howard, second by Supervisor Montgomery. Are there any questions concerning the motion? All those in favor, let it be known by the proper vote sign. Motion passes unanimously.
Have a Pitney Bowes contract for the tax assessor's office.
Motion.
Motion by Supervisor Montgomery, second by
Second.
Supervisor Howard. Are there any questions concerning that motion? All those in favor, let it be known by the proper vote sign. Motion passes unanimously.
Clayton Village Water Association right of way on 16th Section Road.
Motion.
Motion by Supervisor Montgomery,
Second.
second by Supervisor Howard. Are there any questions concerning that motion? All those in favor, let it be known by the proper vote sign. Motion passes unanimously.
The Morel Water Association right of way on Blackjack Road.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Montgomery. Are there any questions concerning that motion? All those in favor, let it be known by the proper vote sign. Motion passes unanimously.
Tom Bigby Valley water management resolution for Skinner Road.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Howard. Are there any questions concerning that motion? All those in favor, let it be known by the proper vote sign.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
While we're right there, I talked with Mr. Hearing, and he said that he sent the packet for the workout on 182 West, but I hadn't received it. That's for the landowner signature, but he said he sent it, so after the meeting, maybe, yeah,
I'll
maybe.
check on it.
Okay,
What,
all right.
where,
It was the project out, 182 West out by the new Dollar General.
Yeah. It was a little in my area too, so when
Yeah,
they
look,
get that,
right.
let me know. That's what he called and told me.
Okay, it was, yeah.
what creek,
He, you know, the documents that you have to get the landowner to sign that paperwork.
what creeks was it, do you know?
Oh,
Not Skinner, but I don't know what.
The
not
Sun-
Skinner.
Was it the Sun Creek?
not Sun Creek.
I think Rob has some documents.
Yeah, Bob has some. I
That,
think.
he's been working on, I know he has some for me, here.
Okay,
Oh,
but maybe I think
That's
he
probably
did
what he
mention he sent it to Rob,
Yeah,
so
Rob
maybe
got
that's
it.
where.
I'll check on
But
it.
that, I mean, that happened way last summer, so.
I'll follow up on it.
Okay, all right.
Need to acknowledge the Starkville High School JMG and, financial report for 2022-23.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Montgomery. Are there any questions concerning the motion? All those in favor, let it be known by the proper voting sign. Motion passes unanimously.
Have Mississippi University Psychology Department youth court contract. Also, let me just
I
update
understand.
you all.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
approve, I'm gonna
Don't
approve that.
explain it.
Yeah, no explanation needed.
I got you.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor
I've
Montgomery.
already studied
Are there any
it.
questions concerning the motion? All those in favor, let it be known by the proper voting sign.
The Spring Street Connector Transportation Alternative Program, which is the TAP, grant application, if you all wish to.
And Mr. Cody Barnett is here with the city. Come on forward, Mr. Barnett.
How you
Yeah.
guys doing?
You're doing great.
Good. My name's Cody Burnett. I'm the city engineer for Starkville. Haven't met some of you. I worked for Mr. Kemp previously for about 10 years. Now that he's transitioned, I'm in his previous role. So this is not a new application. This grant has been solidified and we have it in hand. And so this is kind of one of our previous partnerships. We worked with these in the past. So I've got some handouts for you guys that we'll use to,
I think we already have.
We already.
you have these, you guys are, well, thank y'all. So I'll give you kind of the brief overview on this project. Are you all familiar at all with this project in any way?
We got some information on it, yeah, but go
Okay,
ahead.
good, sure. So let me back up just a little bit. We have done, this is a federally funded project. It's called TAP. They actually call these TA now, but it's the same thing. It's administered by MDOT, and it's an 80-20 match. We've done these in the past. Three of the big ones we've done that are going to dovetail with this project is we've done the Russell Street connection, which goes the full length of Russell. We had 2 lanes of traffic, which we converted to 1 lane each way with the boulevard and bike lanes to promote pedestrian access. We've got one on Loxley Way, which is by the old veranda, which is a 10-foot path that goes from all the way from South Montgomery to campus. And then most recently, we put in a 10-foot path at the intersection of Spring and Highway 12 that goes into campus. So it goes past Sorority Road down to the amphitheater. So we have these 3 really nice, large pedestrian improvements, and they're all kind of bifurcated in that they don't connect in any way. So the goal of this project is what we coin as the Super Tap, because the Super Tap would connect all 3 of those projects together with one uniform project. Okay, so we applied for the money with MDOT. They said, hey, we love your project, but it's too big. You need to break it up and come back and ask in phases. So we did that. We went and asked for the southern phase, and they funded us really not enough to do any of the phases. So they funded us $400,000 with a 20% match, which is $500,000, and that's really not enough to complete any section at this point. So what we decided to do with the money is to improve the intersection of Highway 12 and Spring. That's where Chick-fil-A is, Strange Brew, the hotel, and you guys probably know that intersection. It's really big. It's really unsafe for vehicles. If you're trying to walk or bike, it's almost like taking your life in your own hands. Right. And so with that money, what we can do is get that intersection brought up to ADA compliance, stripe it out, have the pedestrian push buttons, bike lanes, everything is ready to go. So that way when we go and apply for future funding, we can tie into that intersection with no issues at all. It's ready to go. So that was, in our mind, the best utilization of these funds that we were given. We've got the design in hand. We'll be going to construction this summer. And so this is really just a chance for me to give you an update, tell you where we are. applaud you guys for the partnership in the past. Hope that we continue to do that in the future. And this right now is posed as a three-way split between Mississippi State, the city, and Oktibbeha County. So it's a lot of information. The packet really has some good images if you guys want to go through those. But really, I'm here to answer questions if you have any.
What's the total cost for the project? You said 500,000 is, I mean, you got 400, but the match is another.
That's 100 for construction of 500, and then these projects don't fund the engineering design. So we wound up picking up the tab on the design as well, which was about $80,000. So that puts the total share at 180, divided three ways. We're estimating at 60 apiece. You know, with some of the fluctuations in construction we're seeing, I've said 70 apiece to be a little bit safe. But with the design of the project and then the 100,000 match, that's 180 total, divided three ways.
So that brings me to my question, I guess,
Yep.
on page 14 of what we were given.
Sure.
Showing that about $200,000 apiece.
Yeah.
That's a completed project.
That's right.
So you gave us.
That was for the whole north and south of 12.
That's right.
Yeah.
So this was our grant application when we asked for the entire project. That would take you from Loxley Way all the way up to
All the
Russell
way
Street.
yeah.
And so that's what we originally applied for. That's what this cost estimate is for.
Right.
They didn't give us enough for. So
Yeah.
so full build out, that would be the anticipated cost over 3, 4, 5 years of budgeting.
Yeah.
So this phase is really just for the intersection. This grant application was for the entire project.
Right.
What's the pleasure of the board on this opportunity?
I think it's a good opportunity on a motion for approval. On our 1/3 of the 20%
Yes, sir.
match.
Okay.
That's us, 1/3 of the 20% match.
That's right, and then, yes, that's for the construction, yes, sir. Then the engineering, which is separate from that, is added in as kind of an addendum to the 20%.
There's still 1/3 of the 20% match, though.
Yes, sir. And so that estimated cost is right now about 60,000.
Did the city do the engineering?
We consulted Garber Engineering. It was enough caliber, there were enough complexities that we sent this out to professionals that do this day in and day out. And so they have designed the project, Garber Engineering has.
Okay, so the city is having to pay for that part of the engineering.
Yes, sir.
All right. Got a motion, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion by Supervisor Williams, second by Supervisor Howard. Are there any questions on the motion?
Yeah, are there gonna be any more, engineering work done? When you go, if we go back and get some additional federal dollars, will we have to do some additional engineering work to
Yes, sir.
complete the whole project?
Yes, sir.
Why is that? We have the engineering work here.
So the engineering design currently is for just the intersection. Now, these are conceptual plans, but for the full build out, I would consider this a very large caliber project for Starville, and there will be we will need to get to a set of construction plans as we apply for future funding. And so the plans for the future phases are not completed yet.
Yeah, I thought you had the plans, because you have already applied for the entire project.
Yes, sir.
So you had to have plans to apply for the
Sure.
entire project.
So what we have here is what I would consider high-level conceptual. They allow, so for these types of projects, they don't require the community to have full build-out plans because your smaller communities can't afford to pay for it up front.
I see.
You see, and so this was like a conceptual. Garber helped us get the grant, awarded, and then as we continue, we'd have to get consulting to actually build the project.
Okay.
Is the city continuing to look for funding, for matching funds and stuff going forward in this?
Yes, sir. And I think that one of the, there's no sense in funding this project if the future phases aren't connected. So MDOT's fully aware of the entire scope of the project, and they know that by funding this, it sets an expectation that these future projects, we've got to tie in. So there will be at least 2 more rounds of asking for the north phase and the south phase. Again, this is what I consider the springboard project for the entire project.
Sounds good. Any more questions? If not, all those in favor, let me know by vote sign. Any opposed?
I'm gonna just abstain.
Okay, motion passes 3 with 1 abstention.
And I'm gonna leave some cards since I haven't met most of y'all. Y'all feel free to reach out to me anytime you need to.
And Please let the city know that the county might be coming to them for some help on some projects.
Sure. Well, we've had really good luck partnering with all of you on overlays and soil cement, so we hope to continue that effort.
Sounds good.
Thank you, guys. If y'all have any questions, please reach out to me.
All right, Mr. Farmer, you can continue.
I apologize, I skipped over the Golden Triangle waste service rate going to increase beginning May 1 of 2023. Golden Triangle waste service rate increase effective May 1st, 2023.
I'll make that motion to acknowledge that, but, and you two gentlemen are on the board, we're paying 13 a month. You know what that'll put that to? When I say when I say the customers in the county, do you know what it'll take that up to?
I think it was 50 cents.
They're
I
13,
think it
50.
was, I think it was 50 cents pay increase.
Well, it's going,
It's 80 cents.
Was it 80
right,
cents?
it's going 80
It's
cents.
80 cent pay increase.
But you know, you got, so that's what, that's to us, the county, that's what we pay, and then we pay the tipping fee for the landfill, and then the mail out, which is those three together makes it 13. Do you know what will it take it to 14?
I don't.
Or just, you know, whenever y'all get that number, just get back with
I'll
us.
find that out. I think
got
it
you.
was.
I'm sure it'll be close to 14.
Well, I hope it will be,
It might be more.
hope it will be just enough to cover the increase.
Okay.
The needs.
I got
To
you.
cover the needs, which will be 80 cent. It's 80 cent.
Okay.
So that will go, if the board approves, of course, will be 13.80.
Okay.
So what needs to
Is
happen
this is this an increase from, I mean, I thought we approved the increase several months ago.
No, well, we never did. We might have acknowledged the possibility of increase, but we need to acknowledge that
The
they're going to
increase.
increase, and then we need to discuss whether we want to increase out, what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, this is happening May 1st.
This happening regardless.
So now,
It's gonna happen.
county citizens, we need to know so I can let Golden Triangle Planning and Development know what are we now going to charge the citizens in our county if you choose to increase or what the choice is.
Cause yeah, this is the new number that goes, cause it was like 8 something when I was in there, and now it was 9.25. Now it's going to 10.05. So we just need to know.
So
Also increase the difference?
let's get a motion and a second to acknowledge the
So
increase.
moved, yeah.
Motion by Supervisor Montgomery, second by Supervisor Howard. All those in favor, let it be known by the vote sign. So what does the board want to do?
Well, can you just? I tell you what, my suggestion is y'all look at the tipping fees. You know, all the numbers that you get in those. You know, your monthly, when you do your monthly meeting, and just see. I mean, if we got to go up, we got to go up. You know.
I can tell you this, the city of Columbus decided they were gonna hold up and bid out their garbage collection. And it was amazing. They got, Golden Triangle is cheaper furnishing a can than what the city of Columbus could get without a can being furnished, so.
I mean,
you
that's,
know,
yeah, and it's just, it's savings in volume.
Yeah.
And that's what they
Yeah.
bring. And
But-
so that was what we looked at years ago, is in volume. You know, when one group does it, just see, you know, I mean, we don't wanna, we're not, it's not for profit, but we can't be upside down.
Did you all just buy 10 trucks? You got 10 more orders?
Well,
About 5 trucks?
We bought 10 trucks. And, of course, we got 9 of those trucks actually on route. And 1 is reserved just in case we have breakdowns.
Sure.
And we have had a lot of breakdowns, and we realized that there was a time in which we couldn't pick up garbage because the trucks were old trucks.
Yeah.
Old trucks, so it was time to buy new trucks. I think it's an investment into the future. Those trucks now are $250,000 per truck, roughly. $250,000 per truck. At 10 trucks, that's 2.5 million. So it's a good investment into the future just for 80 cents, just for 80 additional cents. And my recommendation is we don't do no more than necessary. to take care of the increase.
Right.
If they're increasing by 80 cents, then we could increase by 80 cents and no more than that. Maybe we can look at an increase later, but.
Just whatever your recommendation is, once you add those three figures together, I'm with
So
you.
we got a recommendation, is there?
I guess we were, this is gonna happen in May.
Yeah, we already done that.
So I guess we've got time to look at what our people are paying and see what we need to increase.
Right.
And be ready for the next meeting
Yeah.
to make a suggestion.
Okay, well, sounds good. Sounds good, look like, sounds good.
Okay, there was no credit card charges. We have the claim docket number 2123 through 2606 in the amount of $27,744,195.26. That amount also included that CD bid, that Sharon, Miss Livingston mentioned earlier.
All right. What's the pleasure, of the board? Motion by Supervisor Montgomery, second by Supervisor Howard, that we acknowledge and pay the claims. All those in favor, let it be known by the proper voting sign. Motion passes unanimously.
One more thing. So I received a phone call about a county employee having campaign signs on their personal vehicle on county property at work. I need some guidance on how to handle this, possibly sending out a memo to department heads. I need this board to kind of tell me what I need to tell the department head when it comes to campaign.
Now, you say that again?
I did, okay.
I received a phone call about a county employee having a campaign sign on their personal vehicle, but it was on county property. They drove it to work. And so,
Can't do that.
Yeah.
the person was concerned about it. So I need some guidance on this, so I can or
Well,
not
it's
tell
just
me.
the fact that he
I don't
was
think-
on county property.
We still can't do anything about that.
But he drive it up on county property.
It didn't say anything about county property. It said something about, on election day, the poll.
150 feet from.
But it didn't say anything about that. I don't, and I'm gonna tell you. So, well, let me ask you this, hypothetically, if I got somebody's sign and I'm riding in the county truck, and I take somebody's sign that's, running for office and I haul them on the county truck.
Can't do that
You
either.
can't do that.
So that's what you're saying, I can't do?
You can't.
Yeah, you can't.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
No, not
Are you
in the
proud?
truck.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm talking
And-
in circle.
And part of the reason, and I mean, I got a call and I called Patrick. There was some campaign, a citizen called me, there are some campaign signs stuck in front of the volunteer fire department. So I called Patrick and Patrick went and removed them. But I think it's just the reason you can't, it starts to open up so many, because it was signs of 3 candidates, but it wasn't everybody's sign. So, you know, you sort of start to bleed over into being able to come to the courthouse and put a sign up on the courthouse door, you know, for a particular candidate. And so I think that's the reason why I would be in favor of if you need a policy or need a board order to
I say
say.
take no action, because I mean, that gets to be trivial, and whoever called you about that, they must have got nothing better to do.
Well,
Yeah,
Because
can't be-
people wearing shirts and caps and everything.
yeah, I know,
Not at
I know,
work.
but
Well, I mean,
not at work,
No.
on
people wearing
county property.
shirts and caps and everything, and
And
to me,
in
that's
the
just
church.
trivial.
yeah,
You don't have a
yeah,
policy.
but sometimes trivial things, like I said, bleed
No.
over into something
That's
else.
just trivial.
Somebody
Here?
come and put a
Well-
campaign sign on the front door of the courthouse.
What's the action the board wants to take?
Get a ruling
whatever
from-
policy
get a
we
ruling
need to
from
do.
the, get a ruling from the board attorney, and then move forward after that.
He stepped out for a minute, he's got to go here on that case.
We don't have to get it today, I don't
Okay.
think. do
Yeah,
we?
we can revisit
Well,
it next meeting.
I just need to know because, people are campaigning now and there's some concerned citizens as well as candidates.
Yeah.
And for me, I just wanna protect the employees. And if they should not be doing something, I want to tell them, just don't do it. So I need the board, I need to know.
Well, I mean, you
I don't
know,
know what-
anybody is entitled to support who they want to,
On their
but
time.
on their time, yeah.
See,
Yeah.
I was running my girls had magnets on their cars and I didn't know that we couldn't do that.
On your time, you can do what you want to, but on county time, on
I
county
don't know.
property, I know it was that way at the city.
Well, why?
I don't know.
Well, to me, you should be, if that was the case, even if you sign up to run, you ought to have to relinquish whatever position you got. Because some positions you have to, before you can pursue public office, you have to resign.
Some of them.
I don't think the question is having the signs. I think the question is having the sign being parked on county property. I think that's where the,
On county time, on the county dime, you can't do that.
yeah.
And if whatever policy we need to make, I'm for it. I
Can
know
I
it's
make
that
a
way at the city of
recommendation?
Starkville. You cannot come up there and campaign. You can't have stickers on your vehicles. You are an at-will employee.
Can I make a recommendation?
Yes.
I recommend we just do not allow county employee, now if you're an elected official, that's a different situation if you, the elected official. But to protect county employees, I would like to just ask them to refrain from it while at work on county property, because I don't want someone to lose their job because of that. So I think, my opinion, however, I'll do whatever the board say, but I just don't want somebody to lose their job, not because they not working and can't work, but because of a sign. That's just.
I agree, but I
What's
would
my
like to
opinion?
wait and hear from our attorney just to get the legal,
I
make sure
understand.
everything, but I'm in agreement,
I understand.
if, you know,
That's no different when Dolphin sheriff, he was our sheriff since 1976, on the county car.
That, I agree with you.
That wasn't no
But-
different.
Well, that's what I said, elected officials, now you're different.
No. It was on county cars.
No.
I agree with you.
That happened.
That was,
Yeah.
but hey, two
Y'all-
wrongs don't make a
y'all-
right.
It never did take off until he got defeated.
We took it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had to.
Well, he got a new sheriff.
That's how-
I
I
mean,
wouldn't hear
it
them.
sort of, and I get what you said, but it sort of bleeds over this scenario. If I get in the county truck, and put a county sign on the county truck and get a handful of their cards and go down driving the county truck and
On county gas.
on county gas and passing out a particular candidate's card, you know, that's just misuse of the taxpayers' money.
But now this person ain't own private car. They just own county, their car just parked on county property. So
Correct.
that's the difference right there.
So I don't, when they leave the county's property, you can put whatever sticker on, you can go knock on doors and to your heart's content. But don't be coming up here to work
I just think
doing that.
it'll be a little cleaner to just.
How can you not, I mean, how can you not mix public policy and personal policy? I mean, there's no way you can do it. No way you cannot do it.
It's a city.
But I mean,
Whatever policy we need to put into effect,
Yeah.
I'm for it,
I'm
because
here to
that's just,
protect the
that's
employees.
out of bounds.
That's my job. I do not want an employee getting terminated because of that. So I'm asking for some guidance from this board.
And I would make motion
Well-
to fire any employee who campaigns for any candidate on county property. On county time.
I think that's getting a little too trivial.
I understand, but that's my opinion.
That's too trivial. And we got, don't we have some county employees that's seeking public office? And so you mean to tell me if they seeking public office,
Two of them at the table.
they can be terminated if they drive their car? I'm not talking about the elected official, because the elected official is elected by the people.
Yeah.
Do y'all understand what you're saying?
Yeah, I do.
They can be terminated.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to protect them. That's all.
I'm trying to protect them too. I'm telling you, whoever brought that to you, tell send them to me. I mean, that just don't make no sense.
And I see it one way, but think about, if an employee.
No, they don't. Mm-mm. Cause see, we don't.
You have to come to the board.
That
for
department head
approval.
can terminate them right now.
Have to come to
What
the
now?
board.
That
for
department head
approval.
can terminate that employee right now.
No. Department head can terminate them.
Right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Now tell me.
With board approval.
No, no.
We don't hire and fire. We approve them.
All we do, when it comes across their payroll change, we approve that.
Yeah, but we don't have to. We just, for the whole bump, Bush, whatever we have, whole collection of payroll changes, we just say approve all payroll changes. We don't, I look through them, I study them the night before to see what payroll changes we are approving, but we can pull some of them out.
But what if they're already terminated before you sign the payroll?
Well, they're not terminated until the board approved the determination.
That's not true. Because we
That's
had-
That's just a
not-
recommendation.
We have a situation
Wait a minute
when
now,
the
wait a minute.
tax assessor we got right now, when he first came in, we had a situation where he terminated a person and we tried to stop it and hold it, and wasn't nothing we could do.
Yeah, it wasn't us, Rich.
Wasn't nothing we could do.
That's true.
We approved
That
it.
actually happened.
We end up approving it.
That person was terminated, and they no longer with the county.
We shouldn't have approved it.
We didn't have a choice.
We didn't
Shouldn't
have
have
choice.
approved it.
That'd be like if the sheriff said, hey, I'm firing this officer, that officer, that officer. We can't. We don't hire and
They fire
fire.
them right then, and then you gotta wait another month or 2 weeks before you do the payroll, and they're already terminated.
All right, so what we'll do, we'll consult with the attorney
They have
on that.
been recommended for termination. That's what they have been.
Yeah, I tell you.
All right, okay.
What am I doing, running it by Rob and
Yeah,
Yeah.
see what he say?
Yeah.
And then send out an email to everybody and y'all tell me?
please do.
Okay.
My comment, take no action, that's my suggestion, but you know, you do like you want. All right, moving on to the next item, county, board attorney's not here, county supervisor, any county business that we need to take up on consideration of anything right now, since we got a little time here.
I don't know of anything.
Okay, we need to, and I don't think Rob had anything that we needed to take up any action. He gave us a report on some stuff in the legislature. We need to set an adjourned meeting. My suggestion is for the 17th at 9 o'clock. That's good with those that are here.
Sure good.
All right, anything else that we need to, any bid opening, anything other now?
I can announce it at the next meeting.
Okay, all right.
One quick thing, since the board has given me approval to move forward with the design, I would like for supervisors to come by and talk to me. If not, then just give me full authority to do this layout on my own, and I'll do it.
I'd like to have a little bit of input. I think the board needs to have some input on this,
Well,
yeah.
I welcome it, I do welcome
Well,
it.
you can
Thank
come
you.
up
but,
with,
uh,
come up with something and then maybe.
Oh, I'm come up with
Well, but I think they said they wanted to wait
Well,
on some other leaks of paperwork to be completed.
yeah, now as far as doing the design, we can move forward with that. They can't do the, putting out for the RFPs, the demolition, till we get this report.
Maybe so. Maybe I misunderstood
Preliminary.
him. I thought he said he was waiting on something and then he was gonna start meeting with
Everybody,
people
the
to do the
preliminaries.
designs.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
did.
yeah, but-
But we can still kind of come up with some ideas. So come by and visit with me, Supervisor Howard.
So what now?
Come by and visit with me.
Well, I mean, you know, I just think the board needs to have some input
I
on,
agree.
county building
I
that's
agree
being
with
built.
you. That's why I said it.
All right.
Come by, Supervisor Williams.
Can we get a motion second to stand adjourned to 17th?
Right
Motion by
here.
Supervisor Montgomery, second by Supervisor Howard. Are there any questions on the motion? All those in favor, let me know by the vote sign. Y'all take wise usage of the extra time y'all got.
Yes, indeed.
17, 9 o'clock, right?
9 o'clock.
Yes,
Yes,
9
ma'am.
o'clock.
All right, y'all have a good day.
Thank y'all.